Welcome back to the My Pro Golfer channel. Today we're continuing our series on how to swing a golf club. And today we are finally there, fans. We're going to be discussing how to swing the golf club using a 3-wood. So the 3-wood is such a special club, and I'll tell you why, and maybe even I could even relate it to you a little bit differently. So on tour, you have all these famous players with great big contracts with all different companies all across the board. But if you look closely at a lot of their golf bags, every once in a while that they'll have a club that's not from the same manufacturer that they are sponsored by, and very, very often it's a 3-wood. Hey, thanks for watching today's episode. Here at My Pro Golfer, you know we like to keep things simple. And today, I've got a special gift for you to help you never miss a 5-foot putt again. Click the link below and download today. So one of the reasons why a tour player might be playing a different company's 3-wood is they've had it for a super long time. And what you'll find is a lot of people and a lot of tour players and people just in general are searching for more yardage. So what they'll do is they'll buy the next driver, or they will test out whatever kind of drivers week in and week out to try to optimize their distance. But what you'll see a lot of is that a lot of players won't go away from the 3-wood that they use because they love it so much and they know that it's going to work for them each and every time. So a 3-wood, one of the reasons why it works so pivotally for people is that it's a little bit shorter than your driver length. So from a control standpoint, from the ability to find the center of gravity and that sweet spot every time, the length of the club matters quite a bit. So if you look at this driver here, and this is a similar driver components to the driver that I have. This is TS2 and this is a TSI. I mean, that's a significant difference in length. And so your ability to square this face and close it is not quite as simple as it would be if you were utilizing a shorter club, a 3-wood. And the other piece, and one of the reasons why you'll see a lot of people stick with a 3-wood that they know and love, is because of the loft. So 15 degrees of loft on this particular 3-wood. And what that allows you to do, and you see this on television all the time, where the majority seems to be where we're trying to fade the golf ball off the tee, but not every hole on tour, or out here for that matter, is set up for a fade shot. And so you may need to, on tour and regular casual golf, have to draw the ball on a particular hole away from water. And so this 3-wood with the extra loft helps you square that club face and make more solid contact more often because of the way that the components are set up in this club. And that is one of the reasons why it is vital to find a fairway wood that you absolutely love. All right, so now that you know how vital the 3-wood is, let's talk a little bit about how to swing it. And so one of the things that we haven't really touched on all that much up to this point in this series of how to swing a golf club is swing path. And the reason why I don't talk about that very often is I'm very concerned with each and every of yours golf swings that the 4 components that you have to have that are all part of the olive tree method are set up and important first. But in order to really get to a position of hitting a 3-wood off a mat or off of a flat lie, you have to be able to shallow out the golf club. There's no chance that I'm going to be able to get the ball up in the air if my club is coming down and out over the golf ball. I have to do dramatic things to square that face with my body in order to correct the face angle at impact. It's just not going to be consistent. So one of those components that we'll talk about today in swing path will make that a little bit more easy on your mind. And so what I want to do is we're going into what I would consider step 5 or 6, grip and path affect how the ball spins quite a lot. So once your olive tree method is done and you're set, then you can start swinging and thinking about the golf swing this way. And so now that I've got my shaft angle, you'll notice how it's a distinct angle against the ground lining up with my belt buckle. So what I want to think about with a 3-wood is trying to match that line all the way around my golf swing. So you see that line that I'm created, the angle of the shaft from the head of the club up into my belt buckle. And I want to create that position all the way through my golf swing with the significance of trying to shallow it out if I'm trying to create a draw. So going a little bit under that swing plane to shallow it out and get the ball to curve from right to left for a right-handed player. If I'm somebody that's just a little under that swing plane on the way back and over it on the way through, even though it's pretty close, I'm gonna fade the ball because of the way the movement of the club works. The steeper, the more push and cut, the shallower, the more chance of hooking, pushing, and drawing the ball into the hitting zone. All right, so enough of the conversation. Let's get into actually how to swing the club. So you'll see these alignment aids here. They're to help my body get set up and aligned. And my focus here is to take that club back a little bit higher on the plane so that I can drop it in a little bit underneath, release against my body, and try to draw the ball off this mat. So I'm gonna get my body set to that target line. I'm gonna make sure that my shoulder's nice and shut. I'm gonna feel the club out on the way back, and as I rotate through, dropping it in a little bit to release the toe and try to swing the club through impact with the draw. I'm gonna put the ball position just slightly ahead of center in my stance to make sure I'm making a solid strike. When we move up and tee it up, I'm gonna tee it up just a little bit more in front of my stance. I'll explain that in just a minute. So here we go, out and under, trying to release and hit the draw. Hopefully you guys can see that. It started out just right in my target. I released the club well, got the ball to turn over into the wind. We're very happy with that shot off the fairway lie or the mat.
Hey, just want to remind you to not forget on getting your free gift below on how to never miss a 5-foot putt.
All right, so now we're out here on the teeing ground. We've teed the ball up, and I just like to think about this sensation. I take my 2 fingers, I get the golf ball teed up, and I set them right there, and my focus is I'm always going to try to want to hit the equator of the golf ball on the way up with the 3-wood. So as I tee it up, I'm teeing the ground into the ground with my fingers touching, and then I slide them out from underneath in order to confirm that I've got a little bit of space, because I'm trying to hit the ball in the fairway here. And so if I can strike on the slight upswing, so we're moving the ball slightly ahead of our stance to get that natural movement up. We're never gonna lift. I always wanna make sure we're always talking about staying in the shot. And step 3 of the olive tree method is making sure that we're brushing below the equator of the golf ball for at least 12 inches so that the ball does what we want it to do. We don't want to force the body to change the mechanism. So I'm getting myself set up, same green flag. I've got the ball position now more like a driver, just a ball and a half behind my heel. Same exact golf swing now. We're gonna get the swinging the club more under plane to hit that same draw, because we've got some trouble to the right and we've got a pond out there about 260 yards that I'm gonna wanna lay up in front of. So I hit my 3-wood 235, 240 at the most. So I've got plenty of chance to be short of that pond, and I'm gonna try to work it away from trouble. So down the right side of the fairway, get my body set up for that draw mechanism, club out, club under, brushing, not lifting, and let's give it a shot. Here we go. Another excellent shot, higher trajectory. It's not really drawing, the wind's holding it up, but I should be able to land in front of trouble, and that's why a great 3-wood is an option for every golfer on tour and yourselves, using it off the tee instead of always banging driver, when a great driver hit will actually get you in more trouble. All right, so I know we spent a lot of time on 3-wood, and I hope it was helpful because it is a pivotal club for you to have in your bag, and everybody should have a fairway wood, whether it's a low lofted screamer like a 13.5, 12 degree 3-wood, something that comes out low and just goes forever, but you just love it off the tee. That's a great option. The other option is like a 16.5 degree 3-wood where the balls just kind of go up and land soft. You're seeing that a lot with the tour player, is they're just trying to find a fairway. They don't want the ball to go out and roll. They just want to hit it out high, land soft, right where they want it, and they've got a specific yardage for that club to go. So either of those components and ideas, you've got a 4 degree, often a 4, maybe 3.5, 4 degrees of loft options for your 3-wood. And then your 3-wood should ideally have the characteristics of a slightly different shot shape than your driver. That's why most tour players love their 3-wood and stick with it, but play around a lot with driver because they're focused more on length, whereas a 3-wood is focused more on positioning. So hopefully this was helpful. I love giving you all kinds of tips and little sidebars throughout every instructional video that we do. I hope that you'll subscribe as you like these videos that we do each and every week for you, and then come along for the ride and join the MyProGolfer community. Let me get you on my email list, whatever that may be that would help you take you as far as you want to go in golf. So we'll see you next Thursday at 6 o'clock. Please like and subscribe. I hope that you'll comment as well.